Hi, I'm Matthew Zahner, the proud owner of Pierre Koenig's personal residence, Koenig House number 2 in Los Angeles.
Matt, thank you so much for having us today. It's been a pleasure working with you, and welcome to the Senso family. It's a very interesting house. I'm in love with the place. You mentioned the Stahl House and the architect Pierre Koenig. Did he actually live in this house?
This is one that he actually did live in. This was his personal residence. He constructed this one in 1985, and so he lived in this house, and the front of the home is actually his architectural studio. So he actually, designed a lot of the homes from within here.
So you bought the home, obviously has good bones. What are the elements that you did change or upgrade?
Once we purchased the home, there was some work that it did need. The previous owners did some remodel to it, but they kept a lot of it similar. So the original metal cabinets, and there's an interesting letter I found in one of the books here about the metal cabinet manufacturer he used to use, and he actually wrote a note to them being excited that he was going to actually get to use it on his own home for the first time. And so there's kind of those interesting tidbits. One thing they did do is they changed the floors to wood. They went with like a white oak floor to it, which it's funny, I had met Pierre's son a while back at an event at the Stahl House, and I mentioned something about the wood floors. He's like, wood floors? In a Pierre Koenig home? I don't know, maybe it happens, maybe it doesn't, but he just found it odd for this home in particular, that he just didn't feel like that was what the intention was of his father being the architect. And so when we moved in, we were like, do we want to just put in new wood floors again? But for some reason, it just didn't feel right to us. And the other part is with the two young kids, we also don't love dealing with the messes and the stress. And my wife is like, you better not put wood floors in our kitchen again, because I know how stressed out you get every time we eat dinner and all the food is on the floor and water and everything. And so we were kind of struggling to figure it out. And I said, hey, maybe we just start with polishing the floors and then figure it out from there later after we live in the home for a little bit. But once again, it was just that hard feel and didn't feel like a family home. I started kind of researching a lot of different options out there to kind of see what there was. And this ad came up for Senso, but I saw it and I watched the video. I'm like, I think this is actually exactly what I want. And a lot of what the company was spoke to me, between the environmental consciousness, the sustainability story, like everything about it. It was more than just like, hey, this is a material that will work. I read about how warm and soft the material was. And so I showed it to my wife. I'm like, if this is like actually what these ads say, like, I think I might have found our product. I started to look it up more. I found out there was actually a showroom nearby. There was one in Culver City and there was one in Beverly Hills at the time. Came in, kind of walked on the floors because they had it in the showroom, looked at the material, and we're like, this is exactly what we wanted. Like, it's soft, it's smooth. Senso came in, took a look at the home. You yourself, David came in as the founder of the company, and you were in, I think you were in town at the time, and so it was great to feel like, okay, like the company really cares about their work and their craft, and they want to make sure this is done properly. Having done remodels in the past too, I've realized how important it is to have the people doing the work really care about it. They took full ownership of the entire process. They owned floors of our home and made sure everything was done properly.
Me coming from Amsterdam, doing a Pierre Koenig house in LA, it's a pleasure and an honor to do. It's a love of ours, to be able to contribute to such a beautiful design. So it was our pleasure. I know the timeline was kind of quick. You guys needed to move in pretty fast. How did that process go?
It was a very quick process. And that was one of the main, concerns too with a lot of the materials and products and stuff that I sourced for the home, was making sure the lead times weren't too long. And I think the frustration is a lot of times to get things in that I wanted, it's always this long lead time, and we just weren't able to do that in this case. So it was a very, very quick process. I would say start to finish, from the day I walked on the Senso showroom floor to the day that we had these fully installed and cured was probably 2-3 weeks, maybe.
Yeah, it was quick.
It was a very quick process. I don't want to sell everybody that, I want to make your lead times and your expectations there, but
it was quick.
You were able to move quickly for us, and we needed to do that. So I appreciate that.
So now that you're in the home, how do you feel about the product in general?
Being in here and living in it, it's been very, very comfortable. Our policy here is everybody takes their shoes off when they walk in the home. And so the people that are in socks are like, wow, this is so smooth. This is so, soft. And then the people that walk in barefoot are like, whoa, these are so warm and soft and comfortable, and this feels great on my feet. So anytime I've ever had wood floors, I've never had somebody say these feel great on my feet, whereas here they're like, this is just a whole different experience. And I think you can't describe it. Like, you really have to see it to believe it.
For me personally, being a kid from Amsterdam, able to work on a Pierre Koenig house and the design that you envision and help bring that to life right here in LA is a dream come true. So it was our pleasure, my pleasure personally, to be able to be a part of that.